I was muted the whole time. Holy cow. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another live stream. This actually won't be too long of a live stream. I really just want to play some Kingdom Hearts. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. However, I do need some content, and there were a couple things that I missed that I do actually want to talk about. Number one, I definitely wanted to discuss about the vendor weapons here from the vendors. I think that actually be pretty cool. But also, the main stars of the show is probably going to be these pack companions here. I did hear that they got reworked. There were already some videos made from them, but unfortunately, some of that information became somewhat outdated now because there's now some changes to, like, this one, for example. I think this is the main one who got a change. So I want to check them out and then probably make like short videos of these companions. I usually don't go over pack companions. However, I do make an exception for the current ones because on Test Realm you can actually get them pretty much for free. Well, not really free, but you can try them out, right? You can go over everything right then and there, and that'll be great. But I don't necessarily advocate for people going for pack companions. I know that the game needs money and everything, but personally, I prefer going by the free-to-play companions that you could obtain through the story, and those are probably the main ones I tend to run with during playthroughs and everything, because I just want to showcase playthroughs with just free-to-play companions. I don't really want to go with like paid companions. I think the only exception I make for this is probably like LT Barone, and that's about it. Let me see. I missed a chat, I think. Oopsie. What the hell? Hey, non-burgers, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing pretty good. You think the fort will come this update? You mean the part that's like after the wall? I'm gonna be real. I feel like the fort is gonna be a part 2 thing. Part of me thinks that the fort's gonna be a part 2 thing. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think the fort's part 2. I hope that it comes after the update. That would actually be really cool. But I have a feeling it'll probably be like a thing that we'll be doing for part 2, and then we'll be doing some other things within Polaris and then just call it a day. My worry is that it will probably be pretty short. However, I'm actually going to start recording for a bit. This is going to be more like a yapping sesh, and it'll probably be concise down to a little bit more of a consumable video as we go over to the vendors and everything, because I really want to see what they have for sale. I heard that these actually got changed. I remember when they were initially released, a lot of them were pretty OP-ish. Some of them kind of were drawing the line between class identity and everything, and some of them were just kind of whatever. But I do want to see how they're like now. So let's see what we got. Baba Yaga's winter boots. So I think this one stayed. I honestly like these a lot. They're actually pretty cool. But as you can see, right, you are losing a bit on stats. You're exchanging stats for the powers. Sometimes it might even be epics depending on your build. So overall, I feel like these are fine, but they did change them. So I am curious to see how they changed them. But yeah, super strikes are like a guaranteed critical hit with staffy weapons. Pretty cool. Mornsung, pretty cool. I still like these boots. These boots are very solid, giving you some guaranteed like a guaranteed crit with the super strike along with assassin strike, which just a buttload of damage. That's actually really solid, and the stats aren't too bad, not too shabby. Some weapon power and dodge, very good. If you love your crits, honestly, that's fine. Like, these aren't like the most craziest thing ever, but hey, if you love your crits, that's great. We still got the blade into AoE equivalent boots here, which is kind of cool, I guess. And they changed the shield here. I think this used to be an absorb, but now it's a Triton's Chorus, which is going to be a team defensive power, blocking 25% versus basically melee weapons. So stabby, slashy, and smashy. I honestly wish that Triton's chorus included Shooty. I honestly think that this should just be straight up like, hey, this is a team-wide physical resistance, and that's the way the power should be, in my opinion. Like, just across the board physical resistance. That's what it should be. But hey, I digress. Comes with a pretty cool heal too, though. But yeah, that's the boots. I know the main thing people have been talking about has been the totems. And I think that's like the walking vendor. Let's see what we got for the hats. So basically, Mu Manchu hat right here, except now anybody can use it at this point. That's pretty cool. They kept the Draconian's charge, and they also have the Vicious charge. So basically, hit and accuracy. Oh, and the dodge reduction. Okay. I like this one. That's actually pretty cool. Haywire Shard's kind of crazy. Crit rating and team crit rating. Yeah, it's like whatever, I guess. Like, that's cool, I guess. And I understand why they have this one. I actually really like this one. If you are potentially like making a build for certain fights, like the final fight in Polaris, before we got to the what Nomberger just mentioned about the dungeon that we didn't get to do because that was basically the cutoff. That was like the kind of like, hey, you know, we can't go through kind of situation. I'm losing my train of thought for the words that I'm trying to describe, but if you know, you know, right? This actually is very useful because you can use this against those polar bears that were spamming a bunch of the Valor shields, which, yeah, Valor's armor here, which is great. I feel like the direction that the game is going to be about really just enemies buffing more often, and you want to focus on potentially debuffing them, which I feel like it's a great direction to go across. There's also going to be maybe some situations where you're going to get debuffs, so that could be the opposite direction where we can get gear that will remove debuffs from us, but we have been getting some sort of companions that remove debuffs as well. Again, Oleg is an example. I kind of like the direction that they're going with this because it will have its uses, definitely. Although it does beg the question about the gear sets and power sets. I feel like that's like the main thing that needs to be shown for sure. Let's see. Ooh, a tome. Thank you. There's a lot of vendors everywhere. Unfortunately, the map doesn't work, so that's unfortunate. We got weapons. All right. So we got a shooting weapon. That's actually kind of cool. I kind of like the Polar Endurance. That's actually kind of dope. So you get a quick draw on the Polar Endurance. Honestly, the main thing is going to be the Polar Endurance. If you could get a couple of those, that would be kind of neat. Not going to lie, but it's not that great. However, maybe someone can make a little bit of a fun free-to-play build with it. That would be kind of interesting. The Smashy Weapon, a Turn Tide and a Chilling Embrace, slows adjacent enemies at the end of the turn. So basically combining this with kind of like a cheap shot, maybe some hold lines. Really, you're gonna be like the offensive Ratbeard, or just a Ratbeard in general. Like, this actually will be kind of interesting in situations where you're gonna be the main guy slowing everyone down. You get to become the companion that's like the extra wall for the enemies. I find them interesting at the very least. Then we got the Slashy Smashy. This is definitely much better. The Polar Endurance and Repose. Probably pretty good for a privateer, most likely. It seems to lean within the privateer defensive setup. Honestly, I might even use this for Swashbeard. Who knows? That remains to be seen. Let's see. The Stabby Weapon. We got Cheap Shot and Predation. Lashes out when the enemy disengages. So I've heard that this is considered to be like a better cheap shot. I've never seen it in action, but I do think one of the companions does have it from the Crown Shop, so we can definitely test that out for sure. And this really pretty wand that actually looks very similar to a Boston Polaris, which I'll probably show on screen. We got a Witch Hunter and the Polar Endurance. I don't mind these. Do I think they're like the best of the best in the world? No, obviously not. But I do feel like they can bring some interesting things to the table. Maybe even bring some more free-to-play setups or non-farm setups. I don't know how you would call it, but it might bring some interesting mechanics to the game if we were to have a power and gear sets. That's kind of like the main thing that we need right now. And I like this dude, by the way. Nice mustache, man. All right, we got the trinket. Bleeding strikes, so kind of what Sinbad has. Basically hit the enemy and every turn they take damage. Pretty cool. You are sacrificing stats and probably epics depending on your build, so just keep that in mind. Another Polarian endurance here for this other ring, which is kind of cool. If you can at the very least get towards the rank 3, I would say it can be relatively worth it depending on the situation. And then we have the Whirling Assault, which is going to be doing AoE damage and removes a buff from the enemies that were affected. Cute flag, by the way. All right, are we missing anything, chat? I think we got everything except for the... Oh, there's the walking bender. There he is. Yeah, this is the man, the myth, the legend. Ambrosi. All right, so this is what we were looking for. This is what we were waiting for. Oh. No trash and no auction gear. Interesting. So you can only buy these from the vendors. Okay. I like that these are school specific now. That's actually a really good thing. And you know, obviously we have 5 of them for like all the 5 classes. The Forbidden Snowy Mask, so giving you a Mojo Javelin. That's kind of fun. You know, if you just really want to like just zero brain power, just use a bunch of splash attacks and like range attacks, just have your fun, just doing pretty much nothing but buffing and using AoEs. This is like the Blade AoE face mask, kind of cool. Frozen Snowing Mask, this is the Buccaneer one. Gives ramming speed. Now, if I can make a critique about ramming speed, I feel like the way they should have gone about like ramming speed should have been definitely having a anti-knockback ability. So you could basically use this as a charge, and the charge has anti-knockback, so you can't get knocked back by enemies. If you get hit with Overwatch 5, then too bad, you're still going to keep going through. If you get hit with like Repel Borders 5, too bad, you're still going through. It makes sense to give something like this to a Buccaneer, along with probably with the name being called ramming speed, like you're just, you know, smashing your way through. I don't know, just me. Fatal Blade, I love this power. This power is actually really goated. I love it so much. Getting another one's pretty nice too. So for those who don't know, I did go over this in another video, but does some damage. It's a range attack, and it also increases the incoming damage on the enemy by like 10%, along with no healing. It's an anti-heal. It has a curse, so basically anti-healing. Amazing for Buccaneers. We got Concentrated Fire. We love to see it. We love to see it. And then for Musketeers, kind of interesting. I'm actually quite a big fan of Demolition. Basically another range attack, but has the knockback bombs, which is kind of cool. If you really love to just play the crowd control, which is my preferred way to play Musketeer, then this is fantastic for you. These masks are honestly really good. I really like them as like optional items you can obtain until you get something better. Sometimes they might even be better based on the situation, like the Concentrated Fire. If you just really want to be able to deal a bunch of damage to the enemy, this is one of the best powers to use. But yeah, these are all very interesting. I quite like them. It's great. Now you have people who haven't really farmed their stuff can get some relatively decent gear from various places. Valencia Part 3 also gives some semi-decent gear that you can get a lot easier by doing the story. And Polaris does somewhat of the same thing as well. And if you don't get lucky with that, then you can at the very least check out the vendors and see what they have, because they can be pretty good for specific builds. But yeah, to everyone watching, that's going to be it for me. We're still going to be streaming So definitely check out the streams when you can. The best ways to stay up to date is going to be through my YouTube community tab or my Twitter, link in description. As always, to everyone watching in this video, remember to stay frenzy and peace. All right, that was pretty scuffed, chat, but hey, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. It's actually not that bad going over like every little thing, but I do want to go over these companions as well. This would be a whole separate thing. This will probably be like me just getting footage of the companions, and that's kind of it. I will just go over them like through a voiceover. But yeah, these are the exceptions for pet companions. I will go over them if they're available in the crown shop so I can test them out right away. But yeah, we're gonna get a couple of these companions as well. I think they mainly just changed this guy. I forgot what he did before, but I think they just mainly changed him. Yeah, let me make sure I'm not missing any chats, because I feel like my chat thing isn't working properly, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna quick drink of water, chat. Give me a second. I needed that. Okay. Let's see. Yes. I do want to try this Yeti. So let's see what we got. Gambit of Steel. Okay. Basically, that swashbuckler ability. Grand Shadow Dance, more crit chance. Shadow Dance, more crit chance. I don't think they have like any sort of like promotions or anything right then and there, so just kind of get what you get. For epics. So we got some chains, some first strikes, predation. I do want to test this out for sure. And a follow through. And he gets a little bit of everything. A relent, a cheap shot, a first strike, and the predation itself. I feel like it kind of wants me to build semi-chainy, but maybe predation is going to be its main gimmick. Usually when it comes to these companions, it'll have a specific gimmick that you really just want to go for. Ah, hold on. I'm actually curious. Hold on. I might need to take a picture of that. I mean, I'm sure the picture will be in Atmoplex, right? Surely, right? Yeah, hit all adjacent enemies when an enemy disengages. Okay. So rank 2, obviously. This gives like, you know, 3 amounts that it can do. For rank 3... Ah, okay. Kind of cool. Take a screenshot of that because I'm going to use that for the video. So this does the same effect. However, the difference is going to be that it will be able to find people who use hides. So it'll be able to find like swashbucklers. It's able to find just anyone who has a hide. Sneaky sneak. All the kinds. Okay, so you can give him a maximum of 3 predations. Okay. I would say give him a rank of Relentless, of course. More like just different versions of follow-up attacks. How much ranks of follow-through can I give him? Just a 1? I mean, it's just another chain, basically, right? I feel like the more chains, the better for this guy. Maybe some cheap shots will be kind of cool. It's RNG, but like if you get lucky, you can basically have him immobilize someone. And then if you try leaving again, then there you go. Predation activates. I guess First Strike 2 would be pretty good too. Yeah, so I'm thinking Predation, Relentless, a follow through, Relentless 2, so 3 activations, a follow through, Cheap Shot 3s so that he can maybe stun them. Like they'll be immobilized, like they won't be able to move for the time being. And then maybe like a First Strike 2, because the thing is, Predation will already activate if they disengage. So it removes the hide. What's up, Anthony? Welcome to stream. I think like either First Strike 3 or like Cheap Shot 3 will be fine. Like I don't know if like maybe First Strike 3 will be better. It might be better because then if he's gonna be getting hit with a hide, yeah, I would say it might be First Strike 3 as the move. Because if the enemies immobilize, I don't think Predation activates. So it might be better just give him a First Strike 3 instead of a Cheap Shot 3. We're gonna test it out regardless, but you know how it is. But of course, we're gonna give him a bunch of the basics. Oh yeah, by the way, chat, I'm not sure if you know, but in case you don't know, I did recently get monetized by YouTube, which is pretty cool. So any videos that you'll see in the future, they will be having some ads, but it will be just the beginning and the end of the video is what I'm trying to do. I'm not gonna want to do like mid-rolls. Like I feel like it's a little scummy, but also my worry is that, like, it would just disengage someone with the content. So we'll just have like beginning and end, you know, just very typical, and just see how that goes. But yeah, I do want to thank you guys for getting me to this point, so I appreciate it. Should I give him some dodgy? I'm debating between dodgy or just giving him more agile so he can get more I say agile, bro. Like give him like a bunch of weapon power. Yes. Watch me, I can give him both. Okay, maybe I can't give him both. All right, that's cool. All right, we got Colonel Korsakov. I will not be able to pronounce this at all. So already coming with Witch Hunter 2, kind of freaking insane. Cheap Shot 2, Chilling Embrace. So it reduces any adjacent enemies' movement. You can get up to rank 3. Freeze Out removes 1 buff and applies Curse. So in short, they can't heal. Whirling Assault hits all adjacent enemies and removes a buff. Overwhelm, a hit and remove a buff. He's kind of like your wall in a sense. So I feel like you're gonna definitely want, ooh, 50% is pretty insane. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Oh, and it may remove a buff. Okay. Hold on. I need to take a screenshot of these. Hold on. Yo, this video about to be fire, dude. For these companions, going over them. Like they do bring out some interesting mechanics. Yo, Dark Slayer, how you doing? Welcome to stream, dude. Yeah, we're just testing out some of the new minions and stuff. Oh, let me take a screenshot of this too. There you go. Oh, Shadow Step. Yes, dude. This actually is like a requirement in my opinion. Yes, sir. All right, let me take a screenshot of that as well. I do recommend that, like, just by looking at the companion setup, I do feel like Shadow Step is a must. It'll make actually being the wall much easier. You just finished Polaris? How long did it take you, and which school did you do it on? Yeah, I would say Cheap Shot 3 is not bad. I mean, I feel like there are many ways you can build him, but I feel like since he's kind of being a wall in the way, maybe Cheap Shot 3? Hmm? Hmm? Like it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Around 2 hours on the Swash? Okay, so you actually played it correctly. Because if you did that on Buccaneer, yo, I pray for you, bro. Okay, so... Guy Maker, by the way, chat. Guy Maker, by the way. I was like, yo, what does Cheap Shot 5 do? I know I just went over this, but like this ability is something that I just never bother going for, that I just don't remember what it does. I think it just increases the opportunity of like immobilizing, and I think that's all it does. That's exactly what it does. Okay, never mind. Swash is easy to do it on with just use hide. Yeah, literally. I heard they nerfed some of that stuff too. Yo, his armor, his magic resist is kind of insane, chat. I don't know, bro. You just go for the lulz, you know, give him a witch hunter, you know, for the lulz. I don't think it will work as well though, unless there's some sort of like melee witch hunter unit that uses nothing but like Mojo Blade like 24/7, right? I just don't think this will work as well. If he was range, I would definitely give him Witch Hunter 3, but I don't know, man. Can you give him Vengeance Strike 3 for like a potential chance of stunning? I don't think so, right? Holy shit, you can't. Yo, kind of crazy. I think there's a lot of ways you could definitely build him depending on the scenario, right? Because if you give him Witch Hunter 3, then he'll get more magic resist against Witch Doctors. But then the problem is like, okay, well, if the Witch Doctor is ranged, then they're going to end up probably hitting someone else. But I'm not sure exactly how the AI works for that. So maybe they might end up hitting you because they're closer to you and you're immobilizing them. You're kind of in their way, but who knows? But then if you get the Vengeance Strike 3, there's an opportunity to maybe stun them, right? Then there's like an opportunity to maybe immobilize them. I don't know, man. I think there are many ways you can go about this guy. How is he, though? He doesn't have that much damage, and I feel like... Okay, I see. Bro got, like, 0 dodge. It's very... Okay, he melee Witch Doctor. Melee Witch Doctor. This is a weird one. This is a very weird companion. This is a very weird companion here. He doesn't have much health, which kind of worries me. I'm sure there's like a proper way to building him, but like, I don't know. He feels kind of weird. Like, he's interesting, just a little weird. He's not like the other ones. I'll probably give him accurate so he can actually, like, you know, land the freaking vengeance strikes. We pray to RNGesus that he does the job. Now I'm kind of like thinking to myself, what if I just give him some base armor? He has a lot of armor.
Oh, my halberd. Yes.
He has a lot more armor than most companions, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how good that is or not. You see, we have a situation, chat, because like he hits like a wet noodle. Like, I'm not expecting him to kill anything. He's really just there so he can just like really annoy the enemy. That's kind of like the thing I have for him. It's like he's just there to be annoying. He hits slightly better than Oleg. Let's put it that way. Is there any companion that I have that has lower damage than him? Like, even if you were to give him like all of this in the world, right? He would probably still be weaker than a lot of the Witch Doctor companions. Yeah, like 334, right? Slightly worse than Scratch, and he's melee. Slightly worse than Mormal, and Mormal's melee. I guess he's slightly better than Gracie, but you don't use Gracie to be offensive. Slightly worse than Bat Matherson, but bro literally just uses a bunch of AoE powers anyway. I guess he's better than Oh, I actually know, but Carcius is like lower level. Yeah. The Carcius might be better in terms of damage. I don't know, chat. I feel like I want to just do something stupid. So I know for sure we're going to definitely go for like the Chilling Embrace 3. That's like the main thing we're going for. I do want to, you know, rely on my RNGs to potentially stun enemies and immobilize them. And obviously the Shadow Step is very important. He's not really here to dodge. Unironically, chat, I may give him armor just because. But Frenzy, armor's not that good. It's like, well, what else do I fucking give him? Like, bro hits like a wet noodle. He'd be tickling the enemy. Yeah, these upgrades kind of suck, though. But just look at that armor now. He got, like, no health. I mean, I guess if you're, like, give him some Spirited, he'll probably do more acceptable damage. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, but he ain't dodging to save his life. If you put a gun to his head and you ask him to dodge, he'd be dead. He's like out of the crew in like 2 seconds. I mean, I guess it'll be respectable once I give him some will, right? I think it might be a pretty respectable like damage once I give him will, but like again, he's not a Cheney. He's not really meant for Cheney. He's just there. He's there to breathe oxygen and be an annoyance. All right, then we got Jackie Luis. Sorry, chat. I'm just yapping at this point, bro. I'll be real. I'm just yapping for the sake of it. Like we brainstorming here. We brainstorming. All right, so we got a full stop. So basically charge with a glancing blow and a stun. Vengeance Strike 2, pretty good. Flanking 2, interesting. Hold the line. Demoralize once per turn, reducing an approaching enemy spell power and damage. And Fanatic, gain 50% armor when damaged by a debuffed enemy. So if you pair him with like honestly any sort of crowd control companion, so we're talking about a Bonnie Ann, Ratbeard, just anyone, especially if it's ranged, you're good to go. This guy is going to be pretty cool, pretty awesome. All right, let me take a screenshot of that Demoralize. I'm not sure if Fanatic is an option for you to train. It's not. It's just his gimmick. So ideally, you just want to apply debuffs to the enemy on this companion. So this one's kind of easy. This one's pretty easy to understand. That Witch Doctor one kind of weird, but like I kind of like it. I mess with it. I mess with it. All right, see what we got. Okay. So this gets upgraded to, instead of once per turn, it's twice per turn. So twice per turn, reduce an approaching enemy's spell power and damage. So I would say you want to max this one out because his whole thing is just debuffing. And then rank 3 times per turn. Thrice per turn. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Yeah, I definitely want to give him that. I really don't want to give him flanking 3. Like, yeah, I'm not a fan of the flanking 3. Can you give him first strike 3 potentially? I want to see that. Hold on. Ooh, you can. That's tough, man. That's tough. Can't give him a flanking 3, but flanking 2 is not bad. Flanking 2 not bad. Yeah, and obviously, yeah, hold the line 3 pretty good. So basically, you know, debuffing, potentially being able to stun the enemy just for starting the chaining and potentially getting some vengeance strike, and the hold the line for debuffing. So if we do this again, I don't see him having anything else that's like, you know, chaining. So I think that the build that we gave him was pretty decent already. So we're just gonna go with that. Actually, I'm curious. Can you give him like hold on. Can you give him Repel Borders 3? Or no? I don't think so. You cannot. Okay. So yeah, I think the build that we got for him was already pretty good. So I'm not really going to give him dodgy, primarily because I'm already kind of using him to... What's it called? I'm mainly just using him so he can get those vengeance strikes. We're going to definitely give him tough. It's not your typical chainer, but he is interesting. Definitely rough. And I would say give him some strong. That way he gets more weapon power. He about to go dumb. 6-7. Yeah, he gets like no magic resist. And I don't recommend you give him armor because like he's already gonna have it with his special ability, that being Fanatic. So I say like, yeah, I guess just give some dodge. Wouldn't hurt. Okay, we thought of something. And I'll be right back for just a second, chat. Give me a second. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm back. All right, let's do it. So, I think for the team, you know, Oleg is definitely gonna be a main guy. We're gonna have probably have Scratch, have him around. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Scratch pretty much is here for the Valor's armor, so he can buff the Valor's armor. We just give it to these companions and just see how they go, see how they do. And I even have a Valor's armor myself, which is good. Yeah. Let's do it. Very curious to see how these companions are gonna do. And honestly, I think that's it. Most of it is just like they fix some bugs and they changed some of the fights here. I think, for example, the Overwatch ones should have just Overwatch 4. Also, I'm kind of scared here because, yeah. Where am I going? Chat, I feel like this is an area we're gonna go into eventually. This little area. I wish it was a map, but we don't have a map yet. You know what? Let's go against these Orthoruses. Why not? Why not? We're gonna throw some hands with the werewolves here, the little Orthorus guys. Oh, they're physical based. Okay, bet. Yeah, give him a little buff here. By the way, did you guys enjoy the little doodles? I made that like in a few, maybe like a minute. But I was thinking, like, there's this YouTuber I watch every now and then for Zen Zone Zero, who makes guides for specific or a handful of units in the game. And what they do for their thumbnail style is they basically put some pictures of like the sets that they need to be wearing and maybe their weapon, and they're just like little doodles of the character, like little stick figures of the character, with some parts of them being shown to make it obvious that, hey, this is this character. I wanted to do a similar style like that, but with like pirate companions, because I thought it was cute. Nice job, Oleg. Nice job. Nice job. Very good. Very excellent, even. Okay, I'm gonna just like take down maybe one of them. Yeah, let's use like a Morn Song or something. Yeah, let me just do this first and then just go from there. We know what the Steel Blade does. We don't need to use that right now. Not the situation. All right, here we go. A follow through, W. He's doing like a bajillion damage. Oh, wow. That's 1,000. Kind of crazy. 695. Mega hit. 900 damage. That's insane damage, bro. Bro's kind of beefed up. He's cursed. No. However, will he heal? Okay, we definitely want to do another run with this guy because it's not exactly what I wanted here. Okay, let's like all run away. Yeah, see if we can get the opportunity to see the his little gimmick. Oh, cheap shot? Okay. His name is Shaggy. Predation. This will be an AoE attack, by the way. That's a lot for an AoE. Okay, we're gonna definitely do another go at this, but this time we're gonna try to see if we can get him, you know, right away at the enemy. Just watch him go ham. Is that another cheap shot? How's his absorb looking? Not too bad. Still a curse though. Let's see if he tries to run away again. I mean, this companion's interesting. I like him. Cheap shot. There you go. Is that abomination, right? A cheap shot to an abomination? It's kind of hard to see because he's so big. Honestly, it might have been an epic strike, if anything. Oh, he's stunned. Crazy. Nice job, my little iguana. My chameleon. Oh my god, there's drops, guys. No way. Okay, let's switch the lineup a little bit. We want Scratch to be first so he can buff the absorb here. I'm actually gonna give him either I can give him an absorb or just increase his weapon power like an insane amount. One of the two. Actually, you know what? I'll give him an absorb instead. Yeah, give him an absorb here. Scratch does a buff. We're gonna actually do the weapon power buff here. And then honestly, we're just gonna send him out there just to have fun. Have fun with it. What? You're back? Hey, welcome back. We're just testing out the new companions now. We were debating, or rather, I was debating about the epics and stuff to grant the companions, but at that point, I was like, all right, let's just go with this and have fun with it. And we're just going to test them out now for the footage. Yeah, we have him on the front lines because we want him to use the abomination or predation, I believe. I keep calling it the wrong thing. Use predation. AoE damage right there. Damn, I got them skills. Oh, he's stunned. No. That's unfortunate. Damn, look at my pirate. He dodging and weaving. With the drip. We see the drip. Okay, he's unstunned now. Let's go. Double chain. We're gonna actually send him to the back now. All right, now we should be good. What did he give him? Let's see. Relentless in the Blade Storm. So this is the steel blade here. Ah, another stun. You hate to see it. Immune, immune, immune. Yes, sir. I'm immune. He still got health back somehow. Oh, like, no. Stay alive for me, buddy. Now, this would have triggered a cheap shot and predation, but unfortunately, he's stunned. My pirate's going off. This is more like my pirate showcase than it is a companion showcase at this point. I mean, we did get the predation in action though for like the footage, so I think it's fine. Wait, I got Mojo 5? That's crazy. His absorb 522, not much. Not much absorb, sadly. Yeah, we're just gonna pass with bro. You think we getting Polaris Part 2 soon? I will hope that we get it like around maybe the winter time. I will hope we don't have to wait another year just to get more Polaris. That will kind of suck, honestly. mean, we are getting a Skyway soon. That's true. Maybe there's a chance. Oh, I shouldn't have him use a crit buff, but it's fine. We're gonna get one shot by the penguin. we're gonna have a war inside the ship. We're gonna have basically what happened in Marleybone, but this time it happened in Polaris, basically. The Polar Wind final fight is my prediction, but we're gonna be in the ship. Okay, we're gonna do one more, chat. Just one more with this companion, and then we'll switch over the companions. I'm just trying to get some like really solid like footage for the video that we'll be making soon. He'd be a musketeer, most likely. But who knows? No, I think the Polo Gwyn is gonna be a musketeer. He's gonna have explosion decoy. All right, here's the cheap shot to the follow through. That's a crit. I like the crit animation. It's really nice. Oh, frick. What rank of Vengeance Strike do they have, bro? Okay, either their rank of Vengeance Strike is like 5 or something, or I don't know, man. Like it's kind of high. I feel like it's like every time I want good footage, like he just gets stunned every single time. Like there's no way you're this lucky that your Vengeance Strike 3 just triggers out of nowhere. Every time I have Vengeance Strike 3, it almost never triggers for me, but it always triggers for the enemies. Look at my ship though. Okay, I said we gotta fall back a little bit. I predict his moveset is gonna be explosive decoy, a new musketeer move, musketeer move 5 rank, burst fire 3, double tap 3, Overwatch 3, and trigger 3. Nah, he gonna have Overwatch 5 just for the hell of it. They're gonna give him Overwatch 5. Well, yep, he's gonna have Overwatch 5 now. Bruh. Get him! Okay, double dodge. Oh, triple dodge. Okay. He's gonna be Having barricades, bombs, traps, and buffs. Yup. Oh, quadruple dodge. Okay, predation right there. I'm glad we're having crit animations again. Honestly, though, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty OP. Yeah, just beware of Vengeance Strike 3. Just be careful for Vengeance Strike 3. Literally just kills his kit. All leg damage might be ass, but he's a great support. Yeah, I think that's like the whole point. He's just supposed to be supporting. What I am confused about is that I thought the predation would be like an AoE like around him. Maybe it's what's in front of him. Yeah, look. Wait. Wait. Oh, I'm impressed. He didn't actually get stunned this time. Wish he could do a bit more damage, to be honest. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, listen, if you get lucky with stuns, like, his little gimmick isn't as good. The two crit buffs are kind of insane, though, if you put them together. Yo, Ducks, how's it going, bro? Are you winning? Yes, sir. We're just testing out the new companions. Playing with pack companions, are you? Yeah, I thought it's a good opportunity considering that they're like 100 crowns. And then once they come to life, like, they're gonna cost like, well, definitely way more than 1,000 crowns. They're gonna cost you your life savings. You're probably gonna have to, you know, pull out a mortgage and maybe sell your house, sell your wife and kids, just so you can get an opportunity to get these companions. It's kind of crazy how that works. But yeah, we just tested the Yeti. We're done testing the Yeti now. We're gonna actually try for Cardinal, whatever his name is. His whole gimmick is going to be to immobilize enemies or reduce their advancement. He's an advancement reducer. Gambit of Steel should have been Sinbad. That actually would kind of make sense on Sinbad. Giving everyone bleeding strikes around him. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, they should have an Assassin Strike, a hide in the whirlwind. We might be asking for a little much now. Okay, I do want to test something. If I were to do this, and I have him come right here, would he basically not allow these guys to move? Is that what will happen? It's like 50% plus 50%. That'd be kind of crazy. Yeah, Sinbad and Albano are gonna be getting promotions in the future. Chilling embrace. You can no longer move. Now you are stunned. Never mind. I don't think movement debuffs stack, but you never know. I mean, we'll find out. Listen, we gotta test it out for the video when I go over the review. The Oleg did pretty all right considering that's pirate. I'm gonna try to dig around and see if I can find my absorb. Removes one buff from allies. Removes one buff from allies and gives them curse. So wait, if I do this, I feel like if I do this, would the drains be considered like a heal? I'm not sure. I do want the companions to get from the Kraken skulls and the first companions that you to talk again. That would be cool. We'll love to have them more in the story. You are now cursed, all of you. Ducks, I think it does stack. We'll see, we'll see. I do feel, I think it stacks. Because they're not moving anywhere. You want your girl Sarah to talk again? Real. They're only going against bro. They have not gone against us. Not even one bit. Okay, the absorb's gone. That's sad. Okay, so obviously the curse does nothing because it's a drain. Okay, he's gonna die. He's gonna die. Yeah, I'm scared. Damn, that is unfortunate. Okay, let's see what they do after this. Remove debuff from allies. I mean, he's just gonna get cursed again. He only has 2 anyway. He's a tank, bro. He's a tank. It's fine. So I said they keep reworking Sarah. You know the best way to rework her? Just remove repel borders from her start setup and put on the repose. I haven't really tested out Sarah as of the recent update. I think she's still pretty good though. Well, now he's dead. But did the debuff stack? It looks like it. We'll try it without it. We'll do another run without it and see how that goes. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. Well, we're gonna do another run just to see. So for this video chat, it's gonna be going over all the 3 companions. So I would say it might take like a couple minutes. It's like this: have repel borders removed to put her in the relentless or something. Hide assassin stab, her version of it, and poison and a buff. Give her a poison and a buff. I hate that they're separated. Personally, I think that the Repel 3 is pretty solid considering that she's meant to be a duelist type. I think I remember trying her out on my Swash and I didn't think she was bad. I thought if you play around the Repel, it's fine. It's kind of what you do sometimes. You just play around what you got. It ruins her hide. Well, true, but then it's like, okay, well, you could just simply play around that so it doesn't ruin her hide. Like, you can potentially make it work. Oh, wait. She doesn't have a hide. No? Not anymore. What? Well, that's fun. We got an amulet. Devour predation and summon a creature. Oh, I didn't mean to equip that. What the hell? Bro, I can't even read that. Hello? I can't even read that. It's so tiny. What to summon? How's it going, Super Wonder? Would it be interesting to have Pirate in console like they did with Wiz? Yeah. In fact, I'm really hoping that it comes on the Switch because I feel like this game would do pretty banger on the Switch. I feel like a lot of Fire Emblem fans potentially could just pick this up because they're like, oh, it's kind of like Fire Emblem. How fun. They like their weird charms but not complaining. It's a crazy charm to get though. At this point in time.
All set. Have fun storming the skyways.
Okay, we're gonna do another test run. This time we're gonna be doing it without the extra. I like how this time we're testing it on the wolves. It just makes sense. Oh, frick. Sorry, mate. I don't know why you joined. You finally got to watch Obsession? Oh, you finally did? Hell yeah. Pretty good movie. Pretty good movie. I couldn't stop comparing Bear to Hall from... Oh my god, dude! Yes! How? Yes! Dude, that is a perfect comparison. Oh my god. That is such a perfect comparison. The nice guy syndrome. That's basically Bear. And Hal. And Hal. Okay, so this time we're not using Maelstrom. We're just not using it. We also got the Absorb, which is fantastic. Shallow Step is pretty good. So, obviously, some boosty boost. We're going to teleport him over here. Dude, that's so true. That is literally Hal from Megamind. Unironically. Alright, see if this actually did reduce. Or if it's just the fact that he's there, that they're just focusing on him instead. In terms of the AI. Oh, poor Scratch. He did not deserve this. Yo, chill. Chill on me, boy. Oh my god. So aggressive. We got the stun, W. I don't really want to waste that, but like, kind of have to. And we also might have to remove the debuff here. Actually, I'm gonna put Scratch over here, and then remove the debuff. Oh, is he still stunned? Unlike how the signs were there that Nikki would date Bear, but he chose to be creepy about it. So that's what it does. Cool. All right, chat, we're gonna try something. I don't personally think Nikki would date Bear. I mean, the way I saw it is that I felt like Nikki, in a sense, took pity on Bear, but I just don't think it was enough for her to just be like, "Oh, I'll just date this guy because I feel pity or something." I feel like it's more like, okay, well, I see you more like a friend or like a brother kind of thing. Maybe that's just me though. Because like the reason I say this, right, is because during the movie, at the R-rated word, during the R-rated word scene, how the real Nikki kind of like, you know, shows up and it's like, oh, it's not consensual. Like I didn't consent to, you know, so and so. And there was like a bunch of other stuff that happened like during like the beginning of the movie where she was kind of weirded out by the way that Bear, obviously showing that he does have feelings for her. And it's more of the sense that he's weirded out by his way of flirting. Taking the terrible advice from his friend. Okay, he's gonna die again, which is unfortunate. Yikes. Straight up dead. Alright, we're gonna do another test run, but we're gonna change some things up a bit. If anyone liked Bear, honestly, it was probably the other girl. I forgot her name, though. It's been a while since I saw the movie. But it was definitely the other girl, the one that got accepted to the college she wanted to go to. And she went to share the news of the acceptance letter. I get that. Maybe I missed an important scene in the beginning. Yeah, because I think it was like, if I remember correctly, I think there was like a moment where... I'm not sure if it was Bear or Nikki asking about like, oh, you love me and stuff like that, and they're like, it's like, no, I didn't consent to that kind of love or something like that. I forgot the way it went in the movie because it's been a while. But like every now and then during the movie, the real Nikki comes up. Did you know that the guy on the telephone, whenever Bear is calling the number for the little wish thing, that was actually like, I think the director was the one who was the guy on the call. All right, we're gonna try one more run with this guy. And then we'll call it. And then switch to a different companion. There is a fountain here, right? Yeah, there is. I don't think it matters, though. So is the B debuff stack or no? No, we're gonna try one more experiment. I feel like maybe the reason why that it feels that way is because once we reduce the wolves' movement to 50%, they don't really have anywhere to go. Like the only thing they'll see is Colonel, and they'll probably just decide to go after him because he's the closest enemy. So my idea is, okay, why don't I just instead maybe send myself or Oleg through and probably be myself, have them be close to distance and see if they actually try to go against me instead. Like some of them move away to go against me. So yeah, we're gonna try this out. Hold on. Hopefully I get the power. Okay, so we didn't get the power, like, at all. It's a lot of RNG. Okay, we got the Vengeance Strike stun. That's good. Sheesh. Oh, I missed. No, Oleg, no. You're cooked now. All right. Well, we didn't get the second debuff, which is unfortunate. We're gonna have to stay here for a little while. Anyway, how's the Yeti? What's his gimmick? So the Yeti's gimmick is essentially kind of like Cheap Shot, but instead of it being a potential chance to immobilize, it's extra damage. They're all very niche companions. It is really hard to see with oh, okay, well that's good. My little iguana there could be somewhat helpful. My little chameleon. Dude, I am just not getting those boots, huh? Alright, here's what I'll do, right? We're gonna move like one square space away. Well, they're gonna obviously go for the other people. Yeah, that's not really part of the experiment now, is it? He's close to dead too, so I might as well just kind of do stuff. All right, we'll do another run. It just occurred to me that he is a melee witch. Yeah, melee witch. Melee witch doctor. Okay, we're gonna do another run, chat. Just one more run, because I need the debuff to be right there so I can actually test it. But we can't test it because we're not getting the debuff. The game hates me. He needs to equip the new hat. Real. Okay, he might be dead here. I hope he doesn't die here. Yeah, they do way too much damage. Jeez. He's gonna die again. His biggest weakness is that he's witch doctor. Funnily enough. Like, this is great, but that's not what I needed. Well, he can't get healed because he's cursed. Yeah, let's try not to get him killed again. Bruh. What the heck did he get cursed by? The winter wolves. I guess they have an attack that applies curses. Oh, thank you. It only took you 50 years. Oh, of course. He doesn't pay attention to the damn skeleton. Now he's gonna die. Because he's too stupid. Okay, Powers, hello? I need you to, like, show up right away. Thank you. Was it so hard? Bro, chat, you will not believe this. There was a whole ass spider on my microphone. That spider liked that breath, bro. That minty fresh breath. That's crazy. I didn't notice it because it was like a really like dark colored spider. I came in late and bro's still beating up a bunch of Orthurises. Well, we're testing out things, that's why. We finally got the spider, chat. Holy shit. Dude, that's crazy. There was a whole ass spider. La araña. Yeah, literally, bro. Crazy. All right. We're gonna be one space away, right? One space away. Actually. Yeah, fuck it. Just do it. Who cares? Let's see if it works. All right, I'll be back, chat. Chat, did it work or did it not work? Chat, did it work or did it not work? Did the double debuff work or is it not a thing? I didn't do well in high school, but a lot stuck with me. Real. I thought I'd be able to tell, but I don't think I even can. I wasn't paying attention. I was folding laundry. Fair. We were trying to see if the double debuff worked or not. Actually, chat, it may have. Hold on, it may have. Yeah, I think it worked. I think it may have worked. I think it may have worked because they were able to get to my area, but they didn't really attack me. And then when I moved like 2 spaces back, and they still have the maelstrom, like they decided to walk back here to go against the other companion. So it may have worked. If any of them move straight 2 units, then it doesn't stack. Well, let's take a look at the replay. Let me take a look at the replay. I'm gonna take a look back at the replay. Okay. Let's see. So for him to reach me, 1 unit space, 1 unit space. Okay. So the problem is I put myself 1 unit space behind these dogs. Not 2. I should have done the 2 spaces instead of 1 space. Also, it seems that they went close to me. Both of them went. But instead of targeting myself, it targeted the companion. Okay, so we'll try the 2 spaces then. We're not going to revive this guy. He's just going to die in 2 seconds. It's fine. Is this the last week of test run? It seems like it might be. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Oh, nice. We got it right away. One more test run, chat. One more test run here. We've been doing way too many test runs with this one. I just want to give it like its fair time to shine. That's pretty much the whole thing. Like, this is even like the video. Like, this is just like background footage, if anything, as I go over the companions, like based on my testing, and just go from there. Oh, damn, Demolition on an eye patch is OP. Hell yeah, brother. I love Demolition. It's really fun. It's a fun power. You can technically have 3 now. 1 that's trained, 1 through the pure weapons, and then the eye patch. You become the mastermind. All right, so we're gonna be instead 2 spaces away. So it'd be like 1. Wait, so if 2 spaces away, chat, right? Be right here. That'd be technically 1 space away. So I'll be right here. So that way they have to go the 2 spaces to reach me. All right, here's a movement reduction. So they're focused on the minion. Still. Okay, looks like the wolves have freeze out, which is kind of like gloom, but removes a buff instead of poisoning. Interesting. This is the last one on Maelstrom. We're gonna give him another absorb so he just doesn't die in like 2 seconds. Yeah, we're finally able to give him stuff. Kind of crazy how that works. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with your chat. We may not even do Wiz. I honestly thought this testing was gonna be faster. No, it's taking quite a good bit. The fact that the absorb is staying on is odd. I thought it'd just be removed. We will never know. I'll think about it later. No, but for real though, like I was thinking we were gonna do Wiz, cause like, I was like, you know, I'll be on Pirate for like maybe an hour, and then we can just go straight to Wiz. But it's like, nah. We're probably gonna be here for 2 hours in Pirate somehow. Which one's still stunned? This one's stunned. This one's stunned too. Okay, let's see. Because the other debuff should be gone. It's just it's just this one. The cheap shot activated. Cheap shot activated. So I think they were going for Oleg. Oh shit, he's dead. Oh shit, he's dead. We gotta visit Miracle Mitch and stat. Oh, is the absorb gone finally? Wow. No, he's still there. Just invisible somehow. Yeah, so now it's just chilling embrace here. I do think they stack because okay, here I think I gave him cheap shot 3. Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Not this wolf, but one of these wolves decided to flee, right? To leave from his area. And then the companion decided to use cheap shot 3. And I guess it activated its passive ability, which is the immobilize. So my guess is because Oleg right here was very low health, it probably was trying to reach to Oleg because he has lower health, but then the cheap shot 3 activated. So I think they do stack. I think they stack. Oh, that's the other curse power, Raptor Strike. Interesting. Okay, well, we gotta go to Miracle Mitch, unfortunately, again. Wrong area. Oh my god. Wrong place. Wrong teleport. You know, Oleg will be fine. Wake up. You'll be fine. You'll live. Okay, we're gonna try out this last companion. Jacqui Luis. So his gimmick is gonna be Demoralize. It happens 3 times per turn. Reduces an approaching enemy's spell power and damage. That's gonna be interesting. He also, I gave him he comes with flanking too. I gave him Vengeance Strike 3 though, Hold the Line 3, and First Strike 2. His other gimmick is going to be Fanatic, which is going to increase his physical resistance if the enemy is already debuffed. Pretty cool. I think he's going to be one of my favorites here because I really like the little gimmick here that he has. Jacques is usually pronounced Jacques. He's Jacques now. You get his more OP with Swash. Oh yeah. There's the that's the buff right there, the resist buff. Jacqui. Yep, Jacqui. That's his name now. It's whatever I say it is. A simple hit with a high did like 900 damage. I really do like the Yeti too. I think my least favorite is probably the Witch Doctor. It can't have its uses though. Can't be too much of a hater. So look at his armor, right, chat? This is his armor, 3148. Right? Remember that number, 3148. We're gonna see how much lower it goes down. But you have the Demoralize, reducing their spell power by 127 and their weapon power by 157. Kind of crazy how that works. Holy moly, yeah. Just keep an eye out on the absorb. Yeah, 3148. Remember that number. And his little gimmick can happen 3 times per turn. So if you were to run away, it activates again. Here's the Demoralize. That's like a universally applicable true metal. Yeah. Here's the Resist Boost. And it only happens during that turn. All right, we went down to 2853. All right, remember that number, 2853. We're all gonna fall back a little bit. Or we can fall back the other way. Honestly, just fall back the other way. Yeah, we'll just fall back here. It's fine. Kind of hard to choose. Pay to win, literally. It's true. It is very pay to win. Not buying a single pack. I mean, the only reason why I cover these companions, like companions, is because they're available in the Crown Shop on Test Realm for cheap. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't go over them at all. I just go over them for content. But personally, you probably shouldn't buy any pack companion, in my opinion. I feel like you should be just fine with the free-to-play companions, and that's how it should be. Some people disagree with that opinion. But I'm always for free-to-play. I know the game needs money, but I would still prefer that free-to-play companions are very solid themselves. And Oleg, fortunately, has continued that trend of solid companion. I guess we could like summon these wolves, see what they do. I got the Armada companions because I wanted them. I mean, that's fair. Listen, if you want them, you want them, right? But at the end of the day, me personally, I don't want it to have where everybody needs the paid companions to get by the content. I don't think that should be the way they should go about it. Me personally. But yeah, I think there's a good showcase with this guy. I think one run is just enough. I wish the chests were a little easier to find. Put it behind any badge you want, and I will spend $200 to get all of them. Yeah, fair. It'd probably be cheaper than the packs, dude, considering RNG. Hell yeah. So yeah, that's Jack right there. Jack Louise. So what I gave him, Vengeance Strike to potentially stun. The flanking, he just comes with this naturally. I probably never use it. Hold the line 3 for a debuff. Demoralize, which already is a debuff. It will happen 3 times per turn. Each rank that you increase this is going to increase the amount of times this activates. And he comes with Fanatic naturally, which is a 50% resistance gain when damaged by a debuff enemy. And I gave him First Strike 2 because why not? He already comes with 91 base armor. So essentially he'll get another 45 or so. 45. Maybe, I don't think 46. I think it'd be 45. So another 45 added to his armor already. That's relatively high. So yeah, it's pretty good. Me personally, if I were to rank my favorites, I would say last place definitely goes to this guy. I'm not the biggest fan of the gimmick here. Like, it's cool, but if he was any other companion, like any other class, it would be cool. The fact that it's a melee witch doctor with like 0 dodge, like almost no dodge, is crazy, and also very low health. But I guess it makes sense, right? And then I'm debating between these two. Do I like Shaggy or do I like Jack more? Personally, I think Jack could be a little bit more universal, in my personal opinion, because he already comes with a set of debuffs. Like, his rework is essentially debuffing the enemies, which is great. Like, it's a spell power and damage debuff, which is a lot more universally used, and I think that's actually fantastic. He's not much of a chainer, but honestly, neither is Shaggy. Neither of these companions are chainers. But I do really like that Demoralize. It's actually a really good ability for bro. Shaggy's great until you go against enemies that are essentially going to have Vengeance Strike 3. Like, the moment you get Vengeance Strike 3, it's a gamble, and you might end up getting stunned anyway. I got very unlucky with this companion. But I will say he'd be very useful against enemies that are perhaps maybe melee witches or so. It'll probably be pretty useful against melee witches. It will probably be useful against other enemies that are maybe in the Swash variant, because Predation at rank 3 will be able to detect hidden units and still do damage to them. So maybe that will work pretty well. And I think he's able to get First Strike 3. If he's able to get First Strike 3, then that's even better. So personally, if I were you, I'd probably give him First Strike 3 instead of Cheap Shot 3, because First Strike 3 will remove the hides. I don't think Predation removes hides. It just is able to detect enemies with hide, but it doesn't remove it. So I would say instead of Cheap Shot 3, give him First Strike 3 and Predation. It's a good combo. Yeah, he can. I'm pretty sure he can. Yeah, he definitely can. I think these two are tied for me for first. I really like these two for different reasons. But this is going to be very, very good against swashes, like charging swashes. It's against any sort of like charging enemy. It's going to be good to have this companion. But for swashes, yeah, removing that hide is a really big deal. So, very, very big fan of Shaggy. I think just because Shaggy can learn First Strike 3 makes him better than Jack, but not by a lot. So yeah, I would say probably Shaggy, Jack, and Colonel, but these two are probably close to first. But yeah,